Hello everyone, welcome to the PSP Evaluation Project REDCap overview. My name is Brianna Williams and I'm currently the project director for the PSP project. Today I'm going to be giving a general overview of the REDCap system to acclimate you to the project. If you currently do not have access to the PSP projects in REDCap, please email us at msupspevaluation@gmail.com. We will get you set up with your account and with your data sites. Once you have your login for REDCap, you'll go ahead to the web page here at the top, redcap.bric.msu.edu, and log in. So when you log into your account, you'll see My Projects, and listed here will be any of the projects that you have access to within REDCap. If you are only on the PSP project, you should have access to these two accounts right here. These projects are for cases that have opened before October 1st of 2020 and those that were opened after October 1st, 2020. The difference between these two projects is that the surveys that are entered here is a longer version of the survey and those that are entered here are shorter. With this project, we ask that any cases that are opened with using the long survey should continue using that survey until they close, and the same goes with the shorter one. But before I go into these projects, I just want to call your attention to a couple of things. The first time that you log into REDCap, we just ask that you go to My Profile and click here, Reset Password Recovery Question. For this, if you ever have any issues logging into your account or if you forget your password, this will be very important in making sure that you're able to reset your password. If you don't have this set up, we'll have to contact BRIC. BRIC is our IT support, and they will have to do more on their end to reset your password. But if you go ahead and set up this recovery question, you can bypass all of that and set it up on your own. You also have the option to set up additional emails here and change any of your user preferences. Also on this front page, you'll see a tab up here called Training Videos. On this page, you will find training videos provided by the REDCap system. These videos are not specific to the PSP project, but if you ever need a quick overview of what REDCap is and kind of the key features, there are some shorter videos here that can help. But going back to My Projects, again, we'll be back here on this page, and for the purposes of this webinar, I'm actually going to go into this project. Both of them operate the same, they just have different versions of the survey in them. I do want to let you know that whichever ID you're looking for, you do need to make sure that you're opening the correct project for the ID. So if you've created an ID within this project, but then you try to open it in here, it will not show up. It will not exist in this project. So just be aware of which project you're opening. But when you open up the project, you'll come to this landing page. It will show you very limited information on this side, but over here is really the bulk of what's important. The first thing I want to call your attention to is Create New Record. When you come in here to create record, you will click Create New Record. And you'll see here that the data access group code is 027. Your specific site's code will be entered here. And then to create a new ID, you're going to enter 6 digits with no spaces or special characters. So you'll enter them just like this. And when you click Create New Record, you'll get this message that says that a record has been created. Now, when you create this record, an email will go to the supervisor who is assigned to this project, and it will have links to the pre-surveys. The pre-surveys can be completed in a few different ways. You can either do it with the electronic surveys that were sent in those emails, so you could do it straight from your computer. If the PSP and caregiver are meeting in person, they can hand them a hard copy of the survey to be filled out, and then it would need to be entered into the site. So if you are meeting in person, we have our blank surveys here, and when you click on that, the download will go ahead and pop up there. So we have blank surveys in both English and Spanish for both the pre and the post and progress surveys there. Once you have the information from the surveys, you'll go to View Edit Records. And as you remember, I put in this ID, so we're going to go ahead to this one. And it will come here to your record ID. So this is the dashboard. Each of the dashboards for all of the IDs look like this. And from here, you can see what parts of the survey have been completed. So once you complete the pre-survey, this little circle right here will turn green. If you complete it using the electronic surveys, then it will look like this green button right here with a little check mark in it. And if you have a manual copy of the survey, it will look like this. But for it to turn to this green button right here, you do need to click this. And then you're just going to go ahead and fill out the information here. So just for the sake of this, we'll go ahead and create some data. We'll click a few things. And then when you get down to the bottom, when it says complete, you want to make sure that you are marking it as complete. If you do not mark it as complete, it will not turn green and it will look like it is still in progress. So you go ahead and save and exit form. And now you have this nice green button here saying that that is complete. The family survey is separate. So when you go in here, if they filled it out in person, go ahead and put whatever date they filled it out. And then all you're going to do is fill out what they filled out. So you would, go ahead and click here. And then when you get down to the bottom, just click all of their responses to these questions. And the same with the other one, you'll go ahead and mark it as complete. And there you go. It is green here, which means that the pre-survey is completed. And essentially what this does, this system will go ahead and calculate when each of the following surveys need to be created. So based on the date that you put in the pre-survey here, 6 months from there, post-survey 1 will be due, and then 6 months from here, post-survey 2 will be entered. Just as a note, these dates are calculated only by this date here. So to make it a little bit easier, we have due dates calculated that's shown right here. So if you go ahead and click this button here, it will actually show you all of the due dates. So based on the date that you entered for the pre-survey, it's basically saying that the second survey needs to be completed here, December 18th, the following in June, and so on. So we do recommend that you keep track of these dates because they do not change based on the previous survey's date. And so to make it a little bit easier, we have a few help documents that we think would help with keeping track of those. If you go over here to Project Bookmarks, we have general info here with a few help documents. We have a frequently asked questions. If you need your site code, they're listed here. We have a communication flow chart letting you know who you should be asking questions of, whether it's the MSU team or the ACMH or MDHHS team. We also have the logic model, which explains the different aspects of the survey. And if you need help with some data entry, we have this here. And we also have an internal tracking template that was provided by some of your colleagues. This tracking template will help you keep track of your ID numbers and the dates that they are due. And since our system does not collect identifying information like names, we don't collect anything about the parents or the children, this would be a great place for you to keep that information because it would be saved on your own server. It wouldn't be included anywhere in here, so it's completely safe. But that way, if there's any turnover, if there's a change in supervisor or data entry personnel, you have more information to look up who the ID belongs to instead of just the date of birth, which could potentially apply to several people. Additionally, in the project bookmarks, we have some helpful guides here. So we have some information for PSPs who are just starting, who are meeting with families for the first time and are explaining the survey to them. So we have some scripts and guides to help them along with that. And then we also have some information for our supervisors. So here within the data and reports section, we have some information to help you with tracking your own data. So how to create reports for PSPs is actually within REDCap. So if you actually scroll down to reports here, all of these reports were either created by the MSU team or by other supervisors to kind of keep track of some information. You can create reports for whatever kind of information you're looking for. So if you are looking for your 6-month progress reports, you would click on this one, which was already created for you, and you would see, okay, this is how many 6-month progress reports I have. These are the IDs that they belong to, and here's when they were created. And this process to create reports can be a little bit difficult, so we've created this step-by-step document here to help you create those. Additionally, we have a charts feature here, so if you go ahead and click that, you'll be able to see how your site's information compares to the site information. So here you can see the average score for our pre and post. You can see them by subscale. You can see your CAFES and PECVIS scores. You can also see the racial makeup of your families who are participating and their exit reasons. You'll see here that currently there are no charts showing for exit reasons, and that just means that this site has not had any families exit. So if you don't have any exit data, you will not see that information here. And the last thing I want to share with you is our monthly tips archive. At the beginning of this project, we were doing monthly tips to kind of help with certain changes within the project and just to kind of give some more information about certain features that may be a little bit difficult to use. But we made sure to include those documents here so that if you were not around when we originally sent them, you still have access to those documents. So here in the monthly tips archive, you can find those there. All right, but that is all that we have for the PSP REDCap overview. Again, remember that if you are a part of PSP, you should have access to 2 projects here, and if you only see one, please feel free to email us at msupspevaluation@gmail.com so that we can get that fixed for you. But I hope this was very helpful for you, and I hope you all have a great day. Thank you.